хрюканье вдалеке. Что за...
Welcome to the show, and welcome to Glow So Bright. This is an intelligence report on the Maine Socialist Rifle Association, published on October 30th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Bottom line up front, Maine Socialist Rifle Association at one point was led by Graham Platner, an ex-Marine who is running for the 2026 Democrat primary for the Maine Senator position for the United States Senate. They are noted in their standardization of arms and equipment. The Maine Socialist Rifle Association is the state chapter of the SRA. Established since likely May of 2019, their core ideology is similar to other chapters of the SRA, as it is an anarcho-communist armed group with heavy use of queer and Antifa imagery and ideology. The group is approximately at least 18 or so members large. IFF indicators of the Maine SRA would be the use of anarcho-communist patches. Flags displayed by the group are those depicting Antifa and Marxism-Leninism-based imagery. Key leadership of the Maine SRA would be Graham Platner around 2020. Platner has a military background in the United States Marine Corps, likely with an MOS of 0311 or USMC infantry rifleman. Seemingly, he has combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as being in the United States Army Reserves after active USMC service. It is claimed that Platner had employment in Constellas, also known as Blackwater PMC in Afghanistan, according to David Weigel of Semaphore. During his likely time involved with the SRA around 2020 or 2021 or so, he did proclaim himself to be a communist, made racist statements against white people, as well as recruiting to boost members in his SRA chapter on Reddit. One thing to note is very likely neo-Nazi ties, as evidenced by a tattoo of a Totenkopf on his chest since 2007. Which was then hastily covered up on October 22, 2025, as published by a CBS 13 report. Platner currently is running for the 2026 Democrat primary for the Maine Senator position for the United States Senate, with a lead over Janet Mills according to a University of New Hampshire poll. His views are in line with Marxism-Leninism and Social Democrats. It is unknown of the current ties of Platner to the Maine SRA. Some activity has shifted over to Blue Sky, with the latest social media activity promoting the Maine Democrat Socialists of America for a May Day event on May 1st, 2025, retweeting the announcement on April 22nd, 2025. Analyst comment: May Day, or May 1st, is a notable event with the communists as co-opted from International Labor Day or International Workers' Day. The similar sentiment is promoted by other communist groups, such as the state government of Cuba, for example, which has set up such organizations such as the 18th May Day Brigade, which has members of Armed Careers SLC participate in. Most photographed members appear to be armed with .556 caliber AR-15s. However, there have been some individuals armed with Kalashnikov pattern firearms, including high-end AK-100 series rifle of unknown caliber and make, as well as modified AKM pattern rifles. Other intermediate caliber rifles such as the Keltec RDB, as well as an unidentified bullpup rifle. Looking at their AR-15s, much of them bear characteristics of having mid-range optics such as reflex sights made by Holosun, SIG, EOTech, and Aimpoint. Magnifiers in conjunction with reflex sights are also observed, as well as use of magnified optics, such as a rifle equipped with a primary arms low-powered variable optic, likely a 1-6 powered SLX optic. Camouflage spray paint with some use of masking moving parts and other surfaces are also observed. Much of these firearms share the same stencil pattern. Other firearms observed in use by the unit would be shotguns, 9mm carbines, and one notable firearm would be a 9mm MP5 configured as a short-barreled rifle with a silencer. Night vision equipment has also been observed with photographs of the use of white phosphorus Gen 3 night vision goggles, as well as the use of a laser aiming module. Load-bearing equipment appears to be in the higher end as well, with the observation of slick plate carriers, likely ferro slickster plate carriers, as well as modular chest rigs likely made by Mayflower or Haley Strategic. Core-style gun belts are also observed to be used. Current operational status as of October 2025 with the Maine SRA is unknown, as the latest social media posts depict 10 to 11 members photographed. Analyst comments can be found below. The Maine SRA is an example of how former members of the military, especially those with a combat arms or overseas deployment experience and background, could be used as an advisor or a leadership position to standardize and train a militia. This isn't necessarily a new phenomenon, such as previously observed accelerationist neo-Nazi groups such as the Base having members of the Canadian Army in one of their cells, or Atomwaffen Division having one of their members, Brandon Russell being an active member of the Florida National Guard at time of formation. Given that members of various SRA chapters have conducted armed domestic terrorism, such as Benjamin Song-Sel attacking the Pearland ICE facility on July 4th, 2025, as well as association of members with the Dallas-Fort Worth SRA, and additionally, Adam Lansky's attacks on the Salem, Oregon Tesla dealership in spring of 2025, and his associations with the SRA as noted in statements made by the Assistant U.S. Attorney Parkram Singh. This is another concern of coordinated and organized attacks given previous SRA activities, not unlike Doll Squad's high level of standardization of equipment and doctrine. Graham Platner's current lead as the Democrat candidate for the Maine U.S. Senate position reflects on a change or split within the Democrat Party, from a pivot of neoliberal beliefs and policies to that of communism, as well as Democrat socialism. Yet with Platner having likely neo-Nazi ties as evidenced by his Totenkopf tattoo, it shows other beliefs shared by other members in the SRA, such as the Los Angeles SRA for ejecting a member of Jewish faith from the organization for having relatives that were conscripted in the Israeli Defense Forces. While the SRA was named as a response to the National Rifle Association, perhaps it could be named more appropriately as the National Socialist Rifle Association. Any tips for information would be greatly appreciated to be forwarded to Glow So Bright. However, any unlawful activities observed should be forwarded to tips.fbi.gov. To fight in the shade, one must wade into the abyss. A text version and sources for this intelligence report can be found in the video description down below, or you can look at it alternatively on X. Thank you very much for watching. This intelligence report on the Maine SRA is brought to you by Glow So Bright on October 30th, 2025. Thanks for watching.